It's about a minute to 7 p.m. Welcome, first week of March, 2025, if you can believe it. Tonight, Mike Gimbel is going to do his annual talk. You still live up in the Pocono region, Mike?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Up in Monroe County.
Monroe County. I'm from Luzerne, as you know, originally, near Scranton. So before we get going, number one, sorry for a little bit of delay. We had some hiccups technically. Patrick is going to actually take over for me in a few minutes. Number one, because I don't know if I'll be here the whole time. And number two, we like to get more of our Baltimore Babe Ruth chapter team up to speed on how to do these kind of things. So we're all skilled and all that kind of stuff. So appreciate Patrick jumping in. Couple quick announcements. You probably saw email went out in the last day or two. We have a minor league game planned the last Sunday in April. The Orioles are on the road that weekend, so it's going to be at the Delmarva Shorebirds. I think it's a Sunday afternoon game. I believe it's at 2 p.m. So if you're interested, obviously read up on it and let myself or Bob Brown know if you're coming. And number two is, since it is March, our next edition of the Baltimore Chop will be coming out in early April. So if you have any articles to submit, please get them in to Ruth by the end of March. Thank you all for joining. Mike, I don't know if you have anything to present. Slides. If you do,
well, we will do a share screen because
okay,
and like I did last year, full screen. But before I do that, I just want to get a short statement. Because first of all, of course, thank Peter Kohlbauer and the Babe Ruth chapter for hosting this. But I'm amazed by all the newfangled things. You can measure the spin of the ball, speed of the ball off the bat, all that great. That's wonderful, but it's all eclectic. It's not a comprehensive evaluation of the player's performance. So I always criticized WAR, but I held back. But now not anymore, because if you recall 3 years ago when Robbie Ray won the Cy Young, I hear on this presentation showed that he was the fifth best pitcher on his team, let alone the Cy Young award winner. So I mean, he was that probably was his best year, but he was nowhere near a Cy Young award winner. He got $115 million from Seattle for that, but he's at best a number 3 pitcher, and I assumed WAR would never have agreed that he was a Cy Young. So I never attacked WAR for that because I didn't think they would. But I checked a couple of weeks ago, and they agree that he was the Cy Young Award winner for 21. And to me, that means that WAR is only good for fantasy baseball player aficionados, and that's all. So there is no comprehensive evaluation, and that's what I do here. I do the screen is team by team by team, and then position by position by position, and recent years ability of the hitters versus the top pitchers, which has been a problem for Baltimore. The reason they've got out 2 times in a row in the playoffs without a win. If you sit when I go through the player by player, you see they do not perform well against the top pitchers, and that's who you face in the playoffs. So, but we'll get to that in a moment. So now I want to go to the screen. Oh, before I do that, I'll let you know that Retro Sheet publishes play-by-play data for baseball for around December 1st after each season's over. That's the data that I run my software on from Retro Sheet. Okay, so let me go and see if you guys can see the whole screen. Can you see the whole screen?
No,
Does
no,
you can't see it?
no, sir.
Okay, let's how do I get this on because I've done this in the past.
Yeah.
How
Uh,
how do we
should
do a share screen? Oh,
uh,
here it is. I got it.
okay.
Okay. Okay, we're going to go this way. That's the screen. Okay, share. Okay. Can you guys all see this?
Yeah.
Yes, you got it.
Okay. Now, your pictures are on the right side. That's where all the information is. How do we deal with those pictures or of you guys on the side? Can I, do you see the full screen or the
Yeah, you'll
pictures?
have to on the screen itself on your spreadsheet, you'll have to scroll to the right to reveal that.
Okay, so I think what I should do is zoom it down.
Yeah, that's probably the best option if you want it all in one place.
Yeah, how do I?
The other option is individual attendees can,
No, I'll change the zoom, move the zoom to, let's see if 120 does it. Okay, because I made it the full screen for, okay. It, oh, it jumped. Okay, let me go up to,
Yep, there you go. We see it all at one time now.
okay. Let me go to the top of to Arizona. It's alphabetical, of course. Okay, what you're looking at, the left side of the screen is just a cut and paste for baseball reference, so you can see the data from the player that when you go to baseball reference. Okay, the right side of the screen from this black line onwards is what my software does. Okay, and the main product of the software is what you see as runs here. And I may divide it by plate appearances, or I may divide it by outs. So those, and what you have here is one column is let's go with Ketel Marte, who's the top player. He produced 35.07 runs offensively, and defensively he was plus 0.86 runs. Okay, and the total, his run value was enormous, 35.93 runs. And so this whole side is my analysis here, and you can see what it comprises. So the Arizona Diamondbacks were 89 and 73. Their offense was terrific. Overall, 86.78 runs. They had 4 players in the premier group with double-digit run plus. The orange is these hitters are also pluses. Anybody in the white here is a negative. And if it's blue, it's because it'll be double-digit runs negative. There's nobody blue there. Okay, so this is a very strong offensive team. So now we go over to the pitching side. Same thing. Left side is baseball reference data. Right side is my data and the analysis. What this black line is, that's the dividing line. It's about 3.8 or 3.9 runs separating the pitchers who were in the study. So these 4 pitchers were part of the premier pitchers that tested the hitters against. But none of their pitchers were double digit, so they weren't in the green. So this all positive pitchers. These are all negative down here, and they had 2 pitchers who were double digit negatives in terms of runs during this season. Jordan Montgomery and Brandon Hughes. And so their overall pitching, they're almost 26 and 2/3 runs negative. It's a very poor pitching staff that they had. And when you add the 2 together, the 86, it's about a team that's about plus 60 runs. So 5 runs is a win, essentially. So this is a team that should have won around 93 at 189 games. but you could see where its weakness was. It was strong hitting team, strong offensive team, very weak in terms of pitching. So we go to Atlanta. Atlanta had the same record as Arizona.
Can I interject with a question? I
Yeah.
was just curious where you got your defense number from. How did you derive that?
It's from the same play-by-play data, and every my software computes every ball hit into a player's area, and what I measure. Every stadium is different, even for fielding. Every stadium is different, not just for hitting. It's for and each position is somewhat different. But I compare the player on the field versus the player on the same field against him. So if you're the left fielder for Baltimore, I'm comparing the performance of your left fielder versus the performance of the opponent left fielder, both at home and away. And the difference is what I put using my formula is what I put in there. The only difference is for catchers. Catchers, it's just how you control the running game. That's it's also based on the data, but maybe the catcher is different from all the other position players in that sense. Was that understandable?
Yeah, I think I followed. So you were measuring chances and chances made.
Not just chances made. What was the result? If a ball's hit into your play, was it a single or a triple? I don't care about errors. If the hitter ends up on third base, I don't care whether you call it an error or he's on third base. So I do it different from others. So all I care about when the ball's hit into your area, where did that hitter end up? What was the total result? And you compare it on this to the other left fielders on the same field, the same time, both at home and away. And you will see. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So here, Atlanta, also 89 and 73. You have two players in double digits, Ozuna and Olsen. You can see, and you have one player at the bottom who cost the team 15 runs, Orlando Arcia. Now you understand a lot of catchers will be down there, but the catcher position, you could be negative in the catcher position and be a positive on your when you evaluate player position by position, because you could be a great hitter at first base and still be a negative because you're facing other first base. I compare the player to the versus players position by position, so that often catchers will have negative numbers here, but in relation to other catchers, they may actually be better. So, and the same way with the first baseman, you may be plus here, but you would be a negative compared to all the other first basemen. So understand, this is a team rating. The next screen, which I get to when I get to the players, that's the player rating, and every player is rated within their position. So that's a player. Then you don't compare the catcher to the first baseman. You compare catcher to catcher, first baseman to first baseman, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so here you have a team who's plus 31 runs, plus, and on the pitcher's side, you have 5 pitchers which were in the Premier Group, double-digit runs, with Chris Sale and Max Fried on the top, and 3 more who were in the study. So they had actually 8 pitchers in the study. A tremendous pitching staff. Nobody double-digit negative, and this the pitching was 56, almost 2/3 runs to the plus. Tremendous pitching staff. This team underperformed because this is a team that should have won about 97, 98 wins easy. So this was an underperforming team last year, which bodes well for this year. When they may be under appreciated. They should be a better team this year because they were so underperformed. Okay, the Chicago Cubs, three hitters in the double digits, Happ, Suzuki, and Bush. Nobody's in the negative, the double digit negative. A very strong offensive team, 54 runs to the plus. When you go to the pitching staff, however, they have nobody double digit in plus, and only three pitchers in the study. Only three pitchers made the study, and two pitchers were atrocious. Jordan Wicks and Kyle Hendricks. So their overall pitching staff was one of the worst in baseball, over 40 runs to the negative. So, but they were stronger offensively. So this is a team that should have won 83, maybe 84. So that's exactly, they're right dead on what their numbers should be. Okay, so here's a team without. What happened? Why is my screen not responding? Oh, come on, screen, stop it. Why is my screen not responding? Stop it. What the hell happened here? I'm frozen.
Maybe if you want to take it off screen share just for a moment and maybe kind of refresh it or open it back up or something.
Yes, right. Where's screen share? Pause share, okay. Okay. I don't know. Never had this problem before. Stop video, maybe that'll get it going. What is this? Oh, there we go. Okay, stop. Okay. Okay, let's go back up where we were. Okay, we were just, okay, very good. I think it should be fine now. Okay. Okay, start Cincinnati Reds. Okay, a 77 win
Real
team.
quick, you have to unpause the screen share because we're still on the last screen.
Okay, resume share.
You got it.
Okay, you there for Cincinnati?
Perfect. Yes, sir.
Okay, only one hitter in double digit Premier Group, which is Ellie De La Cruz. Only a few other hitters even in the positive, and a long list of negative players. This was a very weak offensive team, 36.5 runs to the negative. And we go to the pitching side. Okay, you have two double-digit pitchers, Hunter Green and Nick Martinez, and four others which are in the study for the top pitchers, and only one terrible pitcher for the year, Carson Spears. Overall, this was a good pitching staff, almost 18 runs to the plus. So that was not its weakness. Its weakness was here. So this is a team that should have won 77 or 78 games. So again, it's dead on. This was dead on. Okay, next team is Colorado. Lost 101, should have lost a lot more. Okay, this is a team with one player who was in double digits, Brenton Doyle, and one player who was in double-digit negatives, and Luis Montero, overall a minus 54 runs on offense. And that's the good side. Here's the bad side. Only one person, even a pitcher, even made it into the study. Nick Mears, a reliever. The one person was double-digit negative, Ty Block, but overall minus 90 runs. Easily, by far, the worst pitching team in the major leagues. Between the two, you're talking about 145 runs down. That's about 29 games down. That's about a 52, 53 win team, really. They overperformed at 101 losses. Okay. Okay, the Dodgers, very interesting numbers here. Dodgers, 5 players in the Premier Group, including Ohtani at a ridiculous 69.38 runs to the plus. You have Teoscar Hernandez, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, and Max Muncy. Will Smith is almost into there. Nobody double digit. And this is ridiculous number. It's got to be one of the best hitting clubs ever. 118.5 runs to the plus. Enormous, big red machine type. And if you remember, just like the big machine, they didn't have very good pitching. And neither did the Dodgers. Okay. The Dodgers had 2 double-digit pitchers, Tyler Glasnow, Alex Vezia, and 3 more that were in the study. And a long list of pluses, but also a long list of negatives, plus 2 god-awful pitchers during the year. Walker Buehler and especially Bobby Miller got assassinated. Overall, the pitching of the Dodgers was below average. So you have a team which is just beat you to death with their offense. Their pitching would just get you through. And so that they're 109. This is about a team that should have won maybe 102, 103 games. They won 98, but based purely on their hitting, not their pitching. Miami, another 100-loss team, no hitter in double digit. Xavier Edwards came up in midseason. He was their best performer offensively. 2 players who were huge negatives. Of course, the catcher, Nick Fortes, and I don't know what Tim Anderson's been doing for several years. This is where he is every year in the last down here. He's been atrocious. And okay, now we move along to their pitching staff. Now, Tanner Scott pitched both for San Diego and for Miami. When you added both of them, he's actually in the Premier Group, but the split between 2, 3. This is just for this team, and there are 5 pitchers in the study, so they have a decent number of quality pitching. Nobody truly outstanding other than Tanner Scott, and but 2 really horrible. Yoni Chirinos and Roddery Munoz were hammered. So their pitching was minus 33 runs. So between that and this is a minus. This is a team that should have won about 61 games, approximately. This is 62. So they're right on the mark. Right on the mark again. We go to the Brew Crew, which won 93 games. And you have 4 players in the Premier Group double-digit runs produced. Churio, Yelich, Willie Adames, and William Contreras. And one, Garrett Mitchell, who only played a portion of the season because of injuries. And he'll come up again. He almost made it into the double-digit, even though he had only 196 at-bats. So you'll see what I do my numbers of the players what that comes out to be. And their overall offense is 55 runs to play, very strong hitting club. Okay. Pitching, we go to only one player in double digit, Brian Hudson, the reliever, 10, and then 3 other pitchers in the study. So 3 out of their 4 players in the study are relief pitchers. That's where their strength was. And no double digit negative, but overall, because of the number of negatives, a minus 21.5 runs for the pitchers, a weak pitching staff overall. So the plus 34, so this is about an 88 win team. It should have been 193. Okay. But based on its offense purely. The Mets. Okay. They have 2 double-digit premier hitters last year, Lindor and Vientos. 2 others came close, Alonso and Nimmo. Overall, good offense, not a great offense, 34 runs to the plus on offense, no double-digit negative players. On the pitching side, 3 double-digit positives. Manea, David Peterson, and Jose Buto. 3 more in the study, Severino, Daniel Nunez, and Phil Maton. And no, in fact, not only nobody double digit, nobody even halfway there. So the pitching was solid, a plus 23 runs. So when you look at add them together, it's about, they should have been about a 92 win, maybe 93 win team. They won 89, so close enough, but just a little bit under what they could have been. Now Philadelphia, in the past, you've done well in the playoffs because you were the teams coming in under, who were played under what they should have been. Their record should have been much better. There was an illusion about them. Now they have the opposite going. And again, this time they didn't surprise because they're the opposite. So you had the big 3 at the top, Schwarber, Harper, and Turner, 1 close in Marsh, and 1 disaster at Rojas. Overall, plus 35.5 runs on offense. Pitching, however, 3 double-digit pitchers, Premier Group, Wheeler, Sanchez, and Strom. Suarez and Kerkering were close, and you have Hoffman in the study. Those 6 are in the study. Only 1 got creamed that year. Last year, Taiwan Walker was terrible. And the situation is overall a minus almost 10 runs on the pitching staff. And when you look at this, it's a team that should have won maybe 86 games. It well overperformed, and it showed when it got to the playoffs. Whereas in the previous years, it was the team that was ignored because it had really was a much better team and had underperformed in the seasons, and they came up. This time, the exact opposite, and they failed. The Pittsburgh Pirates, 76 and 86, a double-digit hitter, Ryan Reynolds, only 4 other hitters in the plus at all. 1 double-digit negative, Brian Hayes. Yes, he's a very good defensive player. You can see here, plus 2.66 runs defensive, very good defense, but you can't excuse an offense. You come with a bat as well as a glove, and he's never hit except the first few weeks they came up in the major leagues, but he's never hit since then. So so he was the worst offensive player on that team. So we come to their pitching staff. Paul Scaines was really the Cy Young in the National League. This, even though he wasn't the full season, he had the most run value. He had the top run value, even over Chris Sale. in the league, just beating out Sale in terms of run value. And they had 6 pitchers in the study against the top pitchers. So and they had no double digit negative. This is a good pitching staff. This is a team with a good, not a great, but there's a plus pitching staff last year, despite being a losing team. But this is the reason you see right here why they didn't. They were a losing team. So this is a team that was what about should have been around 72, 73 win team. They actually overperformed a little bit because they just don't have any hitting. And St. Louis, 83 win team, 3 double-digit hitters in Contreras, Burleson, and Mason Wynn almost. Brendan Donovan almost in there. 1 double-digit negative in Michael Ciani. Okay, overall, almost average hitting team, just below average, a couple of runs below average. In the pitching staff, okay, no double-digit. The top pitcher was Ryan Helsley, the closer. 4 pitchers in the study, managed to be in the study. No double-digit negative, but still enough of the negative pitching to go minus 14 runs, compared with the minus 2 runs. This is a team that should have won maybe 78 games. It won 83. It actually outperformed slightly. It's not a big difference. Okay, San Diego, 93 win team, 2 double-digit premier hitters, Jackson Merrill and Jurickson Profar. Tatis almost made it into it as well. Only one, the catcher, Campuzano, but lots of catchers are down there, almost 12 runs down. Overall, the offense, it was poor offense, somewhat below average, 12 runs below average. Okay, so this is a team 193, yet the offense was below average. And we move over to the pitching staff, 2 double-digit pitchers, Dylan Cease and Michael King, and 5 others, total of 7 pitchers in the study, and a very strong pitching staff. So that's what gave them its wins. So you have about, this is a team that should have won about 88 games or so, at 193. Okay. But based purely on their pitching staff, their hitting was just below average. That wasn't what carried them. San Francisco, an 80 and 82 team, 3 double-digit offensive players, Matt Chapman, Elio Ramos, and Tyler Fitzgerald. And only 1 hitter in double-digit negative in Thairo Estrada. Overall, the offense just about 8.5 runs down into the negative. The pitching staff, here we go. Logan Webb, Blake Snell, Ryan Walker, all double digits positives, and Tyler Rogers also within the study. So there are 4 pitchers in the study, and but the overall pitching is just about a run below. So this is a team which is about 1 or 2 games below. So there should be an 80 win or 79 win team. It won 80. Okay, so, okay, next we have Washington winning 71 and losing 91. No double-digit hitter at all, and 5 disastrous offensive players. Eddie Rosario, Joey Menezes, Eldemar Vargas, Hebert Ruiz, and Jacob Young, the worst. 5, they outdid everybody in the league on this. So this is a minus 62 run. This is a team without an offense. That's a disastrous number. So we go over to the pitching staff, and we have 1 double-digit, Trevor Williams, 10 runs. Dylan Floro and Derek Clark came close. That's because they have these 6 pitchers in the study. 6 pitchers, they man, only one double digit negative, Patrick Corbin. So this was a good pitching staff. It was plus, it was better than the Dodger pitching staff, plus 8.5 runs. We're down to, this is a team that should have won 70 or 71 games, exactly right on the mark. But it's all based on their strength is what it is in the pitching staff. The hitting was atrocious. Let's go to the American League now. I think your Baltimore is the first team up, so you're going to be interested in that, of course. Let's go up to Baltimore. Here we go. Okay, Baltimore 91 and 71. Gunnar Henderson, a huge number, 43.45 runs value, tremendous. Anthony Santander, 24. Colton Cowser at 12. There are 3 guys in the double digit, no negative double digit. Your offense was one of the best in the major league. Nothing like the Dodgers, but 73 runs to the plus. That is tremendous. Tremendous offense. Pitching, one person in the double digits, Corbin Burns at just under 11 runs, and a total of 6 pitchers in the study. 6 pitchers in the study. You had no pitchers in the double digit negative. Your overall pitching staff plus almost 16 runs. So when you look at the ad, you're talking about a team that should have won about 99 games. Now you actually underperformed. You at 91. You were one of the bigger underperformers there. In fact, you may have been just about the biggest underperformer. Okay, here's the Red Sox, 81 and 81. 5 double-digit premier hitters from Jaron Duran, Tyler O'Neill, Rafael Devers, Willier Abreu, and Rob Refsnyder. And no double-digit negatives. This not as strong as Baltimore, but that's a very good, powerful offense. 63.5 runs on the offense. Going to the pitching staff. Now that's the problem. Only 2 pitchers into the study, only one of which is in the double digit, Tanner Houck. No double digit negatives, but overall, one of the worst pitching staffs in all of Major League Baseball last year. 46 runs down. Just an abomination. A terrible pitching staff. So this is a team that should have won maybe about 84 games. It won 81, but that's, oh no, don't tell me we did this again. Did this again? Oh my goodness, what the hell is going on? What's going on? Well, I'll pause the share again. Maybe that'll do it. Or I just have to wait till the computer wakes up. Oh, this is terrible. Come on, guys. Maybe if I switch, no. Oh, didn't help. Okay, that didn't help. Okay, what else? Stop video, maybe that'll help. You just have to be patient with me, guys. Be patient. This is ridiculous. What is going on? I never get this problem. No, don't want to do this. Stop. Come on, guy. Maybe I should. Maybe I should go out and come back in. Maybe.
Yeah, I was just about to suggest that actually. Maybe not a bad idea.
Yeah. Let me close this. Let me close this.
While he does that, I will say I don't think it surprised just about anybody when he said that Baltimore was the most underperforming team last year. All right, here he is. Let's see if this helps.
There's a difference in not having Batista.
Yes.
All right, let's give it a shot.
Okay, I'm in. Am I in?
You're here. We need your screen share again.
Okay, let's go up here.
Oh, I need to.
Yeah, I'll get here. Here we go. Okay, you disabled screen sharing.
Peter, are you still here? He's the one that can do that. I don't have the ability to do that. Let me see if I can. Oh, actually, no, now you can.
Okay, here we go up
There we
to.
I figured it out.
Come on. Okay, here we're back. Okay,
We're back.
okay. So we just did Boston. We now go to the White Sox. Who happened to break the 62 Mets record. Okay, in the negative. Now they had no offense, as you can see. They only had one player who performed for much of the season, Pham, in the positive. The other two just had a cup of coffees with them. So this is a no offense team, literally no offense. 5 guys in double-digit negatives. Nicky Lopez, Miguel Vargas, Gavin Sheets, Dominic Fletcher, Martin Maldonado. Just a disastrous team with no offense whatsoever. So we now go to the pitching staff. 3 in the study: Garrett Crochet, Fetty, and Banks, and no double-digit negatives. Look at that. Actually, a bad pitching staff, but not as bad as the Boston Red Sox, minus 32 runs. So this is a team that should have been lost about 20, should have won about 53, 54 games. They underperformed. I mean, but obviously you can't win a game if you can't score a run. This is as bad, probably the most pathetic offense I've ever seen on a major league team. So Cleveland Guardians won 92 games, 1 double-digit premier, Jose Ramirez, of course, every year, and but 2 usually bad offensive players for this year: Andres Jimenez and Tyler Freeman. Their overall offense well into the negative, 27.5 runs negative. Now we go to their pitching staff, which is dominated, of course. Their top 4 pitchers, all relievers. Okay, 5 pitchers in the Premier group, but only Tanner Bybee, a starter, comes in at number 5. The 4 again in front of them, all the relievers. This is a team that is, if you're tied with them at the 5th inning, you're going to lose. Just an incredible bullpen at 17 pitchers in the study. 1 double-digit negative, Logan Allen. So the overall pitcher plus over 50 runs to the plus. So this is a team that should have been about an 86 win team. 192. You can, obviously because of that bullpen overperforming. That's one of the best bullpens you'll ever see. Detroit Tigers, the team a team that I did point out last year could be the sneaky team to come in because of the great pitching staff that they had. Now this year they made it. They had 3 hitters in the double digit: Riley Green, Kerry Carpenter, and Parker Meadows. And 1 double digit, obviously, Javier Baez. He's been terrible for a while. So overall, still below average hitting for offensive team, over 10 runs to the negative, but better than it was in previous years. And the pitching staff, they're the legitimate Cy Young, actually the best pitcher in baseball last year, either league, Tarek Skubal, along with Tyler Holton in double digits. Will Vest almost made it, so did Reese Olson. This is a very strong. You have 8 pitchers in the study. That's how deep they go in quality pitching. Only 1 double-digit negative, Kenta Maeda. Overall pitching staff plus over 41 runs. So you subtract the 10 runs over here. This is a team that should have won 87 games. They won 86, pretty much right on the dot. So now we go over to Houston with an 88 and 73, 2 double-digit premier hitters, Jordan Alvarez and Kyle Tucker. Bregman came close. 1 double-digit negative, Jose Abreu. Okay, overall a plus a little bit under 14 runs. So here we have the pitching staff, 2 double digits, and Framber Valdez and Ronald Blanco, plus another 5 in the study. 7 pitchers in the study, and you have no double-digit negatives. Nobody really bad. Plus 26 runs on offense. It's about 40 runs. So it's an 89 win team. It won 88. So it's pretty much right dead on the mark. Kansas City, a 1-player offense. Bobby Witt, 45 runs, and then the rest of the team, there's nothing else there pretty much. It was Bobby Witt's offense. The overall, despite his 45 run plus, the team's slightly below average at -1 runs. Michael Garcia was in double-digit negative. Okay, so we see the offense is not what carried them into the playoffs. Go to the pitching staff. Okay, 3 double-digit pitchers, Seth Lugo, Cole Reagans, and Michael Waka, and plus 4 more in the study. Very deep pitching staff. Nobody double-digit negative. Hugely positive pitch. Say one of the best pitching, maybe the best in baseball last year at 65.5 runs plus on the pitching side. So at 64 runs, subtracting the 1 right there, that's about a 94 win team, maybe 93. They actually underperformed during the season. with that great pitching staff. But of course, if you have an offense with only one player, maybe that's one of the reasons why you underperform. The Angels, 63-89, they just missed the 100 losses. Nobody in double digit. Mike Trout, in his short time playing, almost made the number one position. As far as the double digit negatives, Kevin Pillar and Drury were atrocious. So this is like Kansas City was a plus 65 on pitching. This is a minus 65 on offense. A truly horrendous offensive performance by the Angels in last season. And we come to the pitching staff. One pitcher in the double digits, Jose Soriano, almost 12 runs, and plus another 5 pitchers in the study, 6 all told. And one pitcher double digit negative, Reed Detmers. Overall, the pitching was 15 runs to negative, poor, but not atrocious like the hitting was. So this is 81 runs down. So this is a 65 win team that won 63. It's off by 2 runs. It's all pretty much right on the mark. Okay, Minnesota Twinkies. The Twins, 82-80, one hitter in double digit, Correa, 1767. Matt Wallner, who I featured last year, and then they kept him down in the minors most of the year, and then he comes up in the second half and destroys the pitching staff again, just like he did the last year. So he almost made it into double digit with only 220 at bats. And 13 runs down, Christian Vasquez was the big negative. Overall, the team was 28 1/4 runs down on offense. And the pitching staff, 2 double-digit pitchers in Bailey Ober and Griffin Jacks, and another 6 pitchers in the study. So they had a whole 8. The very deep pitching they had there. One double-digit negative in Louis Varland. Overall, the pitching was 19.5 runs to the positive. Here was 20. So this was 9 runs down. So it's this is a 79 or 80 win team that won 82. Okay. Yankees, the New York Yankees, won 94 and lost 68. And 2 players carried the whole team. You have between Aaron Judge and Juan Soto, that's 116.5 runs just between the 2 of them. There's not much left here. The whole team is plus 63, but if you subtract that from the 100, the rest of the team is minus 53. This is a classic of 2 play hitters just carrying an offense on their own back. The rest of the Chisholm actually is in the double digits, but he was with 2 teams. But so this is what he performed with the Yankees. So once he came, there is a 3rd player there. Okay, so the overall team plus 63.5 runs. Now we move over to the pitching staff. Come on, don't do that to me. This thing is jumping around like crazy. Okay. The only double-digit pitcher is Luke Weaver. Did a lot of closing, and also Lewis Heel and Clark Schmidt came close. And they have 6 pitchers in the study, 6 in the study. Nobody even close to being double-digit negative. So their pitching was good also, plus 30 runs in 93. So you're talking about a 99 winning team. They should have won around 99 games. They won 94. It's very balanced. If you look at it from the numbers on the bottom, but not really balanced because their offense is totally with 2 players. Oakland, 69-93. Brent Rooker was monster last year, and Lawrence Butler was terrific. But then the only other three players in the plus, everybody else negative. So despite the monster, but it's still not that terrible. Less than 5 runs to the negative overall on this offensive team, because they didn't really have a lot of really bad players. Okay, you go to the pitching staff, and we look at 4 players in the study were done at double digit, the best being their closer, Mason Miller, at a little over 8 runs. Only 1 player at double digit, just barely, Joey Estes, minus 10 runs. This is a team with minus 29 runs on pitching. So this is a team 33, but 6. This is an 85, 75 win team. About this is a team 169. So they underperformed. The team underperformed, not heavily, but they should have won maybe by 75 games, maybe 74. Okay, Seattle. Now this is a team that might be a sneaky choice for next year because they underperformed a bit. They have 4 players well into the double digits, led by Victor Robles, Julio Rodriguez, Cal Raleigh, Luke Raley. Only 1 hitter in the double digit negative, Mitch Haniger. This team was very strong offense, not great, but almost 36 runs to the plus. So now in the pitching staff, what we have is 2 double-digit, both starters, Bryson Miller and Logan Gilbert, and 1 almost there when Brian Wu. 4 pitchers in the study, and no double-digit negatives. So they're plus 23, almost 24 runs on the pitching. Pretty balanced. This is a team that should have won maybe 93. They well underperformed. That's a good sign for them for next year, I think. This is a team that might be you want to watch next year. Okay. Tampa Bay, which is a team that always overperforms. Anyways, their bullpen helps. No double-digit pluses. Brandon Lowe is the high. Only 1 double-digit negative. The catcher, of course, Ben Rothfeld. Overall, the team minus 42 runs on the offense. A very poor offensive team. Going to the pitching staff. Okay, we go down to here. Okay, no double digits plus, but 8 pitchers in the study. So 8 pitchers made the premier study, led by Shane Baz, starter. And only 1 double-digit negative, Chris Davinsky. Overall pitching slightly below average at just minus 2 runs. So this is a team which should have won 72, 73 games. They overperformed, but they do that with their bullpen. This is not unusual for them. Texas, a team that imploded last year and still overperformed at 78 wins. There's no way that this team should have won 78 wins last year. They're much worse than that. You have Corey Seager and Nate Lowe in double digits, but you have these 2 players at the bottom who were atrocious: Leody Taveras and Jonah Heim. So overall, the hitting was 14 runs below. And in the pitching staff, only 1 pitcher in double digits, Kirby Yates, the closer, 2 others in the study, and a long list of pitchers who are in the negative, including 1 in double digits in Dane Durning, on minus 45 runs on the pitching staff. So this is less than 60. This is a team that should have won about 70 games, maybe 69, 70 games. They won 78. it was, I thought they would be really good this year, but they got so many injuries and especially that pitching staff. Okay, we go to Toronto, the last team.
Mike, I will jump in here real quick. It's 7:59. We're only scheduled to go until 8. Obviously, you've had some technical issues, so we're happy to go over, but I just want to give you a bit of a time check.
Okay, oh, because I want to get to the individual players. Baltimore, you want to see what the Baltimore players did. Okay, Toronto 74 and 88. Only Guerrero at the double digits, and Bo Bichette was a double negative. He minus almost 13 and a half runs. And on the positive side, no double digit positives on pitching. 5 pitchers in the study. Their pitching were very poor, minus 23 and a half runs. And so they almost about 40 runs out. This is a 73 win team that won 74, right on the mark. Okay, let me switch now to the other screen there, which is the player screen. Now that what you need to understand is there's 30 starting positions in Major League Baseball. Only 15 players can be in the premier, 15 qualified starters because they're part of the 30, and then the rest that don't qualify. Okay, so I'm gonna I'm gonna have to make the screen smaller again. Oh, here's the problem. This is the numbers against the so let me get the screen down. I have to zoom down. No, I'll bring it down to, well, okay, so let's try 100%. Okay, go. And why didn't it go to 100%? Okay, let's go back again. Really quick. Zoom. Okay, let's go to 90. Maybe it'll change it. Okay, now you can see this. What you have here is the left side of the screen is everybody who has at least produced 400 outs over the 3 years. So that this is high confidence numbers. On this side, these are players that have over the 3 years between 100 to 399 outs. In both cases, you still had to have at least 100 outs in last year to be on here. 100 outs for a pitcher is 33 and a third innings. For a hitter, is probably around 150 plate appearances. So this side is with less confidence, but this shows what they did under that less confidence. So but you have to take into account it is something that has not as much statistical value. Whereas over here,
Mike, I don't think that's the screen that we're looking at right now. I think our screen share is paused.
oh, is it?
Yeah, we're still looking at the Blue Jays pitchers.
Okay, I have to go to new share. Oh, I see. I have to switch. I had to switch there. Okay, now could you see it?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay. Now the left side. You understood what I said about the left side?
Yes.
You understand what I don't have to repeat. This
No, you're
column, this column is the plate appearances against quality pitching, the top pitchers, and the OPS that hitter did against the top pitchers. So you could see that Matt Olson against top pitchers had an OPS of 822. He hit or for Philadelphia, former Philadelphia player, now with Milwaukee. His 353 appearances over the 3 years, he had 803 OPS. So and the ones in orange, they're 700 or better OPSs against the top pitchers, just the top pitchers. So, and those in the white did not make it, and those in the blue are under 400 and below. It's really terrible. So we look for here, Philadelphia, Bryce Harper, he's at 739 OPS against the top pitchers in 486 plate appearances. However, when you go to Baltimore, you go to Mountcastle, 619 against top pitchers. He doesn't hit top pitchers. It's passable. At least he's not into the 500s. Against top pitchers, that's not terrible, but it's not very good, as you can see. Okay, now we go on to the second baseman. You have, of course, Altuve at the top, and you see 727, Ketel Marte 740 against the top pitchers. Then you see like Nolan Gorman, he was 491 against top pitchers. So let's look for Baltimore and Philadelphia. So here you have Bryson Stott. He 667. That's quite good, especially for second base against against a quality pitcher. Solid, very, very solid numbers. Not great numbers. That's not Altuve numbers, but it's solid. Here's Jose Iglesias, who came to the Mets and sparked the Mets last year, and nobody has signed him. And his 267 plate appearances against top pitching, 754. Somebody needs to sign him. He can help a team. Okay, now you have go to Baltimore, Jorge Mateo, 474 OPS. 474 against top pitching. This is what you're going to face in the playoffs. Okay, this is not that's not in one or two at bats. That's in 322 plate appearances. Okay, that is scary bad. Okay, we go to third base. We go to third base and we find Jordan Westburg, decent, 632, not great. I mean, it's passable. 630, no, it's not going to carry the team, but I mean, at least it's passable. It's not 500s and 400s and so on. Okay, Alec Boehm. Here is Alec Boehm. I think it's 650. 650 for Alec Boehm. Okay, that's decent. It's not it's not going to carry, but it's decent. Okay, Baltimore again. You have here Emmanuel Rivera. His numbers was in the 500s. I think it's 564. Looks like it. Okay, so anybody else? Now we go down to shortstop. Mookie Betts at the top. He's a 776 at the top against the top pitchers. Gunnar Henderson, second best shortstop in the major leagues. If you just take the over averages, but against the top pitchers, 666, which is good, but that's not going to carry a team. When you're in the playoffs, that's one of the better ones for the team, but that's 666 OPS. That's not great. It's good enough, but look, Trey Turner was bad, 596. Trey Turner is at 596. He does not hit the top pitchers well. Okay. Edmundo Sosa, he gets 574, I believe, for Sosa. Okay. You see a Baltimore, then I miss him, let me know. Okay, left field. We have Brandon Marsh, 641. Yeah, solid. 641 for Brandon Marsh. And for Baltimore, Tyler, now he wasn't with you. He's now here with you, and he's at 662, which is decent. It's almost the same as just under what Gunnar Henderson did. It's not great, but it's very solid, very decent against top pitching. Colton Cowser was 565. It's only 192 plate appearances. Hopefully he can improve. But again, that's who played in the playoffs. And again, another player yet to show that he can hit quality pitching. You had Nick Gordon. Nick Gordon was around 559, I think, and Daz Cameron 554 against good pitching. You had you picked up Dylan Carlson, didn't you? He had 493. Give you a he was pathetic when it comes to trying to hit a quality pitcher. 493. That's below pitcher standards. Okay. At the center field, this one is the interesting. I pointed out Garrett Mitchell before. Aaron Judge every year is the top hitter against quality pitching. 940. 940 against the top pitchers. That is incredible. But take a look at Garrett Mitchell. He's been get this. Garrett Mitchell is injured. He was the #1 draft choice for Milwaukee. He's been injured each of the 3 years, and each of the 3 years when he has performed, this is what he's done. He is. I'm hoping this year he will be healthy and put up great numbers. The only negative for him, he does strike out a lot. So maybe that could be his Achilles heel. But look what he's the only hitter in the major leagues that has a higher number against top pitching than does Aaron Judge at 959. He's the 122. It's only 122 plate appearances, but that is an incredible number. So that the two together says, I want to see what he can do. He's slated to be the starter at center field for Milwaukee this year, batting 5th in the lineup. Want to see what he can do. Okay, here is let's see. Okay, Cedric Mullins, he's at 642. Solid against good pitching. Not great, but quite solid. 642. Okay. Now we go down to Rojas. He's 564, and that's only okay. Right. I'm just looking Philadelphia, Baltimore for you guys. Okay, in right field, top is Juan Soto again. Against top pitching, he's at 886. And Matt Wallner, who I pointed out to you last year, he had the same rating up here last year. And then for some reason, he spent the first half of the year in the minors. He came up and he did it again. He assassinated the pitching staff. And against top pitchers, 811 OPS. So I expect, I hope they learned their lesson. He's in there every day. Because when he did come up, they put him in the cleanup position. Okay, you have, let's see, Philadelphia and Baltimore. Max Kepler, which Philadelphia signed. Let's see if I can get this across. $581. Okay, not the greatest. Okay, Ramon Laureano. $554. Okay. Nick Castellanos. I never understood why people like him. He can't play defense, and his offense is not great either. His 573. Okay. Now we go to the DHs. Shohei Ohtani against top pitching, 843. He hits. That's all he does. He can hit. There's no question about it. Baltimore, Ryan O'Hearn actually has the best numbers of anybody on your team against good pitching, 697. It's not up in the the 700s or 800s, but compared to what you have, at least he didn't he won't disappear against gets good pitching. Although he's not a highly rated hitter. but at least in the playoffs, yeah, that's something. Gary Sanchez, I think he's around 643, I think, here on the crosses. So he's decent, also against a good pitching. Not he's not carrying the team. Just he won't disappear. Okay, against now catching, you have Adley Rutschman right here. Now here's a problem. Number 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 590. He's the 5th best rated overall rated catcher in the majors. But when it comes to hitting, and that's in 613 plate appearances against top pitching, 590. So when you got to the playoffs and you got swept 2 years in a row, where was your strength? Where was your strength to get you through that through the playoffs? That's a big problem. Real Muto was 647 against good pitching, solid against good pitching. Real Muto's sub was Stubbs. He couldn't hit a good pitching at all. 450 or something down here. Anybody else? Okay, that's the pitch. That's the offense. Pitching, again, same thing. You have the starting pitchers are the top half of the number 1 starters are the top 15, and then bottom half of the number 1 starters. And again, the right side is pitchers who the low confidence numbers, but this is what they actually have done. And you have for Philadelphia, Zach Wheeler, the number 5 pitcher overall. You have as a starter, you have let's see, Philadelphia, Baltimore.
Hey, Mike, just checking in. It's 8:15.
Okay, tell me when to stop. I could go on forever.
Sure.
Luzardo was picked up, and you see I have him as the lower half of the number 1 starters. So that's a very good pickup for Philadelphia. Kyle Bradish, well, I don't know about the injury, but that's how I would rate. He's rated in there. I don't know what to say where he's going to be, if at all. Zach Eflin is at the very top of the number 2 starters. Aaron Nola has dropped. He used to be in the top half of the number 1 starters. He's dropped into the top half of the number 2 starters. Chris Sanchez has moved up into the top half of the number 2 starters. Okay. Philadelphia, Baltimore. Here we are. Ranger Suarez in the top half of the number 3. And these are the premier pitchers. If you're in the green, you're in the premier, the top half of the major league starters. The second half, these are all qualified, but they're outside the premier group. So they're starters. They're qualified. And the bottom half of the number 3 is Dean Kramer. So these are guys who are qualified, but they're losing runs for you because you're comparing them to these pitchers. These are the pitchers. What makes them premier? They save you runs. Those in yellow lose you runs compared to them because you're comparing pitchers to pitchers. And so this is so even though he's one of the top half of the in the bottom, he's a number 3 starter. He's losing you runs because he's not in the premier grouping. Okay. Philadelphia, Baltimore, Charlie Morton. He's in the bottom half of the number 4 starters. And Joe Ross over here, but limited performance. Taijuan Walker, after he was rated higher previously, but this dropped him down to the lower half of the number 4 starters, based on 3-year averaging. not just last year. Albert Suarez also in the bottom of the number 4 starters. Now we come to the last qualified starters, which are the number 5 starters. And this is, see anybody here that's, no, nobody from Baltimore, Philadelphia in that. Down in the non-qualified to start pitchers. And I think we could skip that and go right to the top closers. And this is where Cleveland and Detroit excel, and some Tampa Bay people, but mainly Cleveland and Detroit. Top one rated is Cade Smith. He just blew everybody away in the league last year. Porter Hodge, number 2. Dedney on the he got injured, but before he got injured, he was fantastic. And amongst those on the more with more performance data, the top pitcher is Emmanuel Clase, followed by Ryan Helsley and Tyler Holton of Detroit. And you could see Detroit in a number of places here. If we go down in this is the bottom half of the number 1 relievers. You have those. No, you don't see a Philadelphia or Baltimore up there, but Bautista was a number 1 before his injury. He was right near the top, but you have to wait and see if he can come back, if he can reproduce what he did in the past. Okay, Orion Kerkering is the only Philadelphia pitcher in the bottom half of the number 1 relievers. He's their best reliever. You have now we go down into the number 2 relievers, and there's nobody from Baltimore here in number 1 at all. So number 2, we have Matt Strom near the top of the number 2s, and still no Baltimore yet. No Baltimore yet. No Baltimore yet. Jose Alvarado at the bottom half of the number 2 relievers. And okay, down to now to the top half of the number 3 reliever. Finally come to Baltimore. Keegan Aiken at the top of the number 3 relievers. And you have Sionel Perez also near the top of the number 3. So you have, they're solid. They're in the premier group there, but just near the bottom of it. Okay, so both bullpens are pretty thin, but especially Baltimore's very thin. And but with the proviso, Felix Bautista changes a lot. Changes a lot if he can reproduce what he did in the past. In the bottom half of the number 3, you have Tanner Banks for Philadelphia. Nobody Baltimore there. Okay, number 4 relievers in top half, and no, bottom half of the number 4. You have Yenner Cano. He's in the bottom half of the number 4 relievers. And Andrew Kittredge in the bottom half of the number 4. And finally, we come to the last group of qualified relievers. The number 5, you have Gregory Soto, who in the top half of the number 5s. And in the bottom half, you have, that's it for all, if you're looking for somebody, they're going to be down here probably. So both Philadelphia and Baltimore, especially Philadelphia, has shown like that Achilles heel for that team is still the bullpen. The bullpen is a big problem for them. They have Kerkering, Alvarado, and Strom. That's decent, but you need 5 quality relievers, period. And even if Felix Bautista is everything was in the past, you don't have 5 quality relievers in Baltimore. You have him with Aiken and Perez, and then hope for something else to come along. Okay. Any questions?
Yeah,
I don't think so.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
I didn't see Jose Ramirez in the batting. Did I miss him for the third baseman for Cleveland?
He was the no. Yes, he was the number. He was 28 runs to the plus. Oh, but you say I've left him out over the third base? Well, let's see. It's anything is possible.
Or maybe I missed him because my eyes aren't good at my,
He's number one. I have the number one rated third baseman in the major leagues, Jose Ramirez. Okay?
Good.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. However, against top pitching, 666 OPS, which is solid, but it's not like some of the guys behind him. Okay, like Rafael Devers is 756 against the top pitching. You know, so but overall, he is when you take the overall performance, he's the number one rated third baseman in the major leagues.
Thank you.
Okay. I don't think you want to argue that, right?
No. So
You're satisfied with that rating.
right now against the best pitchers, obviously you got the Judge at 900 something. So if you're over 650, you're pretty good. Well,
Yes,
who-
you're pretty good. That's a 650. I mean, you're not facing that's the best pitchers in the game. And you're still managing 650 OPS. That's not bad. That's not bad. Okay. Yeah, that's so that's but it's the guys who are 700 and 800 especially that carry the teams. You know, those are the guys who when they're facing pitchers in the playoffs, the pitcher doesn't want to face even the good
yes,
pitchers.
what I was surprised is when you listed the Cleveland batting lineup, the ones that had negative were Freeman and the outstanding defensive second baseman Jimenez. Jimenez, though, is listed, I think, against best pitchers at like 650. So actually, he's pretty good against good.
Yeah.
Good.
When he gets to the playoffs, yes.
Yeah.
And actually, this was about bad year for him because he's had some good years before.
A
But
great rookie year with the
yeah,
Indians.
he had but he slid since then. He's really slid offensively since then, each year. But if you do it once, you can do it again. However, that was not a good performance this year. He dragged the team down very much.
That's
so.
why they traded him because
Uh-huh.
they signed him to a 5-year deal, and from this year on, he's making like 10, 15 million bucks a year,
Yeah.
and the Guardians cannot afford that.
Yeah, well, the Guardians can't afford a big hole in their lineup, and he was a big hole in the lineup. They had to replace him. You can't have when you have a guy like Bo Bichette, fantasy people may like him, but usually when he's losing your team 2.5 games in the standings, 13 runs, that's more than 2.5 runs, 2.5 games in the line. You can't afford that. You know,
Nope.
hopefully he can turn it around, but because he did start a very good player, started out good, but that performance last year was terrible. So, anyways, this is, but I really like the idea of seeing how hitters do against top pitching, and you often when you see a pitcher on this right side has limited data, but you see them hitting top pitching. You want to give them a second chance for sure, because if you can hit top pitching, you can hit the lousy pitching. It doesn't work the other way around.
Right.
you know, so. Yeah, there's like, I think a second baseman on this list, which is, here he is, Emmanuel Valdez. I think Boston had him before. And you look, he doesn't have a lot of data, but look what he did against top pitching, 858. He strikes out a lot, but when he and he's certainly not intimidated by top pitching. That was 128 plate appearances against top pitching. So it's not like it was 5 at bats, 858 OPS. And the starter at that position for Pittsburgh is Nick Gonzalez. His hitting against top pitching in the 400s. And so he's not overall that much behind Nick to begin with. So if I'm Pittsburgh, I'm taking a long look at this guy. And even though this says a year difference, actually the difference in age is only a couple of months, because Valdez is born right at in December. So, you know, and I'm rounding off. So the age is fairly close between the two of them. And those two numbers, Gonzalez against top pitching and Valdez versus top pitching, they are such a contrast. And the difference between them as players is not that great. And they're young players. If I'm Pittsburgh, I'm taking a long look at this guy, even though he strikes out a lot.
Mike,
Anyway,
do you
right.
publish this, or do you publish a summary of this anywhere? This is
No,
really
I
insightful,
don't.
really great information.
Well, I've always thought maybe I should put it in a book format, because really nobody else has this. When you go to Baseball Reference, you go to any place, you don't see both the structure of the team, which I show you the structure of the team, where the deficiencies, where the strengths are, and both offensively and pitching and so, and then player position by position, and then additionally how they do against top pitching and so. That's all stuff that you can't really. I don't know. What you do find is wonderful stuff, you know, about pitchers' spin rate, balls, you know, how balls coming off a guy's bat at 98 miles an hour on average, you know, all kinds of different things that I never dreamt of, but they're eclectic. They don't tell you about the full player. You want to evaluate the player fully, and you evaluate the team fully. How does the player fit into the team? You know, where does the team need to go to improve so that they can contend? And I have all of that. And you know, I'm 80 years old. So, you know, if I had somebody to help me, I would have probably done it already. But I'm sitting here all alone, and I have other things I do. Yeah, anybody knows I'm into political movement. I'm into science, especially in physics and so on. I have stuff on the internet on both. So, and conversations every day, pretty much, on politics and so on. So, and I'm only one person. So I really have thought about that, and I'm not sure how to go about it really at this point, even though I published, you know, 30 years ago I published, but you know, that's a long time ago. It's a different situation. Now it's the internet. It's how to really, because the publishing of it is probably going to be more of the ebook than hardcover, although that can be done too. But it's going to be an ebook, and how to go through all of that and everything like that. Did you understand what my response? Hello?
Yeah, no, appreciate it. No, thanks. That's what I was asking. Yep, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Anyhow,
Thank you, Mike. That was fantastic.
Okay. Thank you. I thank you for continually allowing me to make these presentations each year.
Well, we'll see you next time then, huh?
Okay, see you next time.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Great job, Mike. Thanks again.
Thank you again.
Great.